Thanks for coming on, Dr. Greer.
Oh, sure.
I know this is the big
Stevie
time for you.
This is go time.
It's gotten very bad.
Super Bowl.
We're intensely curious, but I don't even know where to start. Do you want to make an opening statement?
Yeah.
We're recording this.
Yeah, you can start because we know what we're going to ask you.
I'm talking to Ted Cruz, right? Ted, he's on now. Okay, I'll ask him that.
Oh, good. Fire away, Ted.
No. Anyway, so is your head spinning, or you're looking at this from a completely different point of view than almost all of us in America? So what are your just basic thoughts about this phenomenon of things in the sky?
There you go.
Well, I mean, as you know, I've predicted this sort of thing would happen for 30 years. There's a covert rogue military component that is behind all these drone sightings. Some of them are drones, some of them are a little more advanced.
Drone sightings.
And most of them are part of a rogue military operation to basically create a psychological warfare effect in the media and in the public in advance of something that nobody knows is going to happen, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So there's a group of
the psychological part is working, by the way. We're all scared.
We're all terrified.
Yeah, you should be. So this is very serious. So there's a group of guys who I've known for about 18, 19 months who are senior intel and aerospace operatives out of some desert locations. I'm not going to mention where they are. I've been to them, where most of the R&D testing and operations dealing with so-called UFOs, UAPs occur. Now, this guy, the main guy, has 6 other black sites, as they're called, operational sites that are very secretive, and are these particular ones are ones that are rogue and been running illegally for a long time. He is coming forward in the next 30 days or so, maybe less, with the evidence and unmasking himself and some of his operators, special forces guys, about what's going on at these sites, and with evidence. In other words, he's been operational when they have targeted and downed extraterrestrial vehicles. He's been present when they've tested man-made UFOs, which are mostly what people see, that are essentially anti-gravity craft. He's been present when there are a number of illegal operations that have occurred, including the incidental hitting and downing of civilian private planes that go up over this test area after a temporary flight restriction has gone up. So there are innocent people who have been murdered, and there's no evidence that they were hit. So these are serious guys. The main guy I've been dealing with, I know some of the others, has been in those operations for 29 years, since the 1995 period, but he was very young. At that time, he didn't know he was involved in an illegal and unsanctioned operation. He does now, and they're fed up with it, and they want to come forward. Now, in advance of that, because what he's going to bring forward would be, I understand, if he can get this done in the next 3 weeks or so, would be the videos, the evidence, the proof, not only of the NHI, as they call them, non-human intelligence craft and bodies and beings, but of the man-made ones, and also of some operations that involve the transport of humans in experimental operations from distressed areas around the world. Now, as you know, we have a whistleblower who was a Marine who came across this in 2009 in Indonesia after there was an earthquake and tsunami. And he came across an operation of what looked like an octagonal disc that was about 300 feet across, size football field, that was levitating above a clearing in the jungle. And his platoon came across this. They were almost killed by these operators who were American, but did not look like they were any part of any armed forces insignia or uniform. Yeah. And they had crated up and were transporting humans who were barely alive. And they said, look, you can come with us. And then those were moved over into, we found later, experimental programs at some of these STIFs, these subterranean facilities, underground bases. So all of this is a very complex story. They have the goods, they have the proof. This will be the biggest disclosure related to these sort of issues in history. Well, I say it's going to be the biggest disclosure in human history, period. So in advance of that, these fascists and criminals that have, at the core of these covert operations, have been launching these sort of decoy drone events, and also orbs. People are seeing these orb-like things.
Yeah.
Those aren't extraterrestrial either. 100% of it's man-made. And we can unpack that. Then this is a huge problem, because this is going to happen during this transition before the next president comes in. I've been, doing kind of shuttle briefings from London to the incoming presidential team and the existing leaders at the Senate Intelligence and Armed Services Committee. So I've just been going flat out, for the last few months, because we've known about this for some time. Now, this last flurry of all this activity, there are various reasons I think are being given inside out of Peterson Air Force Base and a couple other operational facilities that these drones are part of a black budget project because they're sniffing out potentially a dangerous weapon that's gone loose or something like that. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard that from several very good, highly placed folks in the intelligence community. That could also be a misdirect to create panic and concern. But I do know that this is very serious. It's not just people misidentifying small aircraft. And these actually are part of a covert rogue military and corporate organization that I've been blowing the whistle on for 30 years. In fact,